Hi everyone, I'm Graddles and welcome back to the Best Start 2 series, or welcome to the Best Start 2 series. This is episode 22, I think, and we're up to advanced aluminum. And I did a lot of prep work for the advanced aluminum, as well as some future things we're going to need. So I guess we should jump in and I'll show you what I did. Alright, so first things first, we needed water and we needed nitrogen gas. And I ported them in with just this kind of like, it's not a belt system, it's like a pipe system. So anyway, we took this all the way down to the ocean. It's got some pumps on it. Yeah, tells you how tired I am. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to head down there and then I'll show you the setup and I'll be back. Alright, so here we are down at the ocean. We have 4 water extractors going into 4 different pipes, and they are all clocked to 300. Did I need the Mark II? No, I could have used Mark I, but they're all working, so it's fine. I have a pump there and a pump there because they had to go quite high, and yeah, that's what's bringing in our water. Next, I'm gonna track back to the nitrogen gas, and if you're curious about where that is, let me just show you where I am. So here's the mega factor. Here's where the water's coming in. The nitrogen gas is over here, all the way up northwest. So yeah, let's go there and I'll show you what I did. Alright, so here we are at the nitrogen gas, and again I have this pressurizer here. And you set that down, you hook it up to electric, and then you put in these well extractors, and I have 300 coming out of each one of these guys. Now these over here were not 300, well at least this one. That was 150, it's not a pure one, it's fine. And I actually explained that one, I think, in my rocket fuel one, that some of them you won't get the 300. But anyway, I combined 2, and so we got 600, 600, and 600, which is 1800. This one, I didn't hook anything up to. Alright, let's go ahead back to our mega factory. So here I am here, and I just wanted to mention that gases do not need pumps. So when you do have to lift them, you don't need to worry about pumps, the gases will rise. Just so you know. Alright, so that was one of the first steps of what I did to get our advanced aluminum started. But we also needed, hold on a second, I want to delete that pipe so I know that is not going to be used. We also needed copper sheets. So if we go down to, not this level, of course I don't have any way of getting down, so screw it, we're just going to go down. Alright, here we go. So for the cooling systems, we need heat sinks. Heat sinks require copper sheets. Where's that hole? There we are. So here we go. Heat sinks, copper sheets. I was not making enough copper sheets over there. That's still running on a 480 belt system, and so we're not even pulling in a lot. But anyway, we needed about 200 and, let's see, hold on. What did I say? 36. Let's see. Wrong one. And 36 times 4 equals 144. Is that right? It's possible. Anyway, that is what we need. We need 36 times 4. Not a lot. Not too bad at all. So I did run in some copper from over in the northern forest all the way in deep in the northern forest. And I also ran in more copper. So let me just show you on the map where I ran these in. And you might be thinking, you don't need a lot of copper, what are you doing? I'll explain. So anyway, here's 3 pure nodes of copper here. There is 1 pure node of copper here. So over here, I'm running in the 600 copper, which I split into 2 300. And over here, it has 6 cars, 300 each of the pure copper. Now, late game, we're going to need copper powder, and we're going to need a lot of copper powder. And I figured since I'm doing it, I might as well do it for the later game stuff, so it saves me some prep work. So that's all that is. I only need one line of this 300 that we have below here, which is bringing in the 600, and I quickly just routed it up, put a buffer, and set up 4 of these smelters. So I'm doing half sets right now, so this way I kind of preset a little bit. These were put in, but it's fine, don't worry. So anyway, blenders, let's go to here. We need cooling systems, so we need the heat sinks. That's what we got the copper for. We need the rubber. We're bringing that in from our rocket fuel. That should be all right. Water, we're bringing that in, and nitrogen gas. I want to make 6 cooling systems per minute times 4. So that's 6, 12, 18, 24 cooling systems. And that is where we're going to pull those heat sinks from above. The heat sinks, don't mind that side over there just yet. I'm not ready to explain that. Just looking for the opening here. So here we got the heat sinks. We need 12 per minute. Hold on a second. 12 and yes, 12. So each one of these is going to go to each one of those machines down there. So next, so that's all set up. They're coming out right here and going right into these machines here. I know it's a little dark. I don't know if I can change the time of day to get the sun over here a little bit more. Not really. It's kind of just dark. Gonna have to put some lights in. So anyway, that brings us from here, which is the 12 heat sinks. We have to look at 36 copper sheets. So I need these constructors to make 36 copper sheets. So if I come down, let's come down to here. 18 and 18 is 36. I'm going to copy this machine. And I'm going to paste it in these guys. So 2 of these is going to make enough copper sheets to drop down into that. So we're going to have to merge these 2 and drop it into this machine. Merge these 2, drop it into that machine, and set up 4 more. 2 per machine on that side. So anyway, let's go back into the numbers. So I need to make 18 copper sheets. That's 36 ore per minute. So if I pop back up here, I need 36 ore per minute per machine. So I need 4 of these making 36. And I'm going to need 4 more on this side making 36. These guys will be able to give me a 1-to-1 ratio for these machines. That is why they're dropping in the 36 to make the 18. So anyway, let's go back up and look in here. So 36, and we're going to have 8 machines. Let's do the math on that. 36 times 8 is 288. So we are bringing in 300. We only need 1 line. That's it. So let's go ahead and start setting up these guys on this side. So I made sure I put a line down the middle here, so I know where everything was kind of like separated. So I have a line there, and that will help me to sort out where I'm putting these machines. And so this is going to be the back of the machine. I get that blue line when it's perfectly lined up, and I'm centering it to the foundation right here. I'm going to drop down to this, and I'm going to grab the same thing, and I'm going to turn it around because I want the output here, and I'm going to center it to this foundation right here. Now it is dark. Let me turn on my flashlight. You can see better. And I don't know why I didn't have my flashlight on before. So if I hold control, these will just center this exactly on a foundation. One thing about constructors, they take 1 foundation each. So it's perfect because you can get them set up just like that. I'm going to next take this lift, and I'm going to go from the output of here and drop it into the input down here. And that makes it absolutely perfect. Come on, buddy. There we go. So smelter, 2 constructors. Alright, so now we're just going to split these guys down the line. Alright, so now these guys have to merge in a 2-to-1 ratio. Let's put this back, it's annoying me. Alright, so let's see, this is going to come up from about here, right? So let's do that. That's going to be an input. So let's press R. We'll hold it up to here. Now, it doesn't line up very nicely to there. Does it? Oh, well, it actually might be straight. Yeah, let's see. Alright. I'm going to take a merger. And do that. It does actually line up perfect. And now I can just simply go like this. And I'm going to press R because I want to do that straight and do that. I hope that one of these line up. I think that one will line up to that one. So let's grab another lift. Let's see if we can line it up with him. H. And let's scoot it down. Because you can nudge these guys. There we go. And bring it up. And we'll grab that merge over there. Bring it into here. And then hook this. Just like so. I am going to color this. Because I'm using the project assembly. Because cooling systems and stuff have that orange color. Alright. So I do have power hooked up to these guys with a power switch. I did not hook up. It's not turned on yet. The smelters and the constructors. I'll hook up that to power a little bit later. But anyway, let's continue doing these and move on. Alright, so these guys all lined up really nicely. Oh god, I didn't change the color. It's fine. It's fine. They all lined up really nicely. This one lined up to this edge. This lined up to this edge. And when I came down here, it was off. It's fine. I just moved them over slightly. So this will line up with this one. So let's go ahead and grab a belt and connect these into here. Alright. So we now have this set up to bring in heat sinks. A lot of steps just for one item. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Don't panic. Alright, let's go back up. I'm gonna set up some electric for this. And I'll be right back. And then we'll start running in our rubber, our water, and everything else. Because we have a lot of things to do. So I'll be right back. Alright, so now the ore is making ingots. The smelters are making ingots, not the ore. And then we're making the copper sheets. And now we need to bring in our aluminum sheets. So, we need to split this 4 ways. Let's go back up and see where I'm bringing those aluminum sheets in and where we want to drop them down. We don't have a logistics floor, which is, it's fine. We could probably run it along here on this line here. So there is a floor hole right here. And yep, there's our aluminum sheets. That is perfect. Let's grab this. We'll put it there. Let's come above. See if that'll work. Is that perfectly aligned with that? No, that's pushed over. Let's get rid of this. It's fine. We can make that again. Let's come over to here. We're going to line this up with this. I'm going to turn this way. That would be one. Hold on. I got to also line it up here, too. So, H. Let's do H. Line it up. So, that would be for that. That one would be there. That's gonna push this way. So we're gonna make R, and then we're gonna grab him here, or her, whoever it is, and put it into there. Perfect. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is drop this down all the way down to our assemblers, which is right here. That is going to be, let's see, here. Alright, so I got that already set up. So let's press this, drop it into this one. There we go. And then we gotta drop it, I think, right by this ceiling here. I think we're gonna run it right along the ceiling. Boom. And then that's gonna drop in here. We could just do this. How about this? Let's just put lifts on here. And splitters. We're gonna want the in on this side. And then I am actually going to take another lift. Not like that. Gosh darn it. We're gonna go along the ceiling right here. And then we're just gonna take this guy into there. Look at how perfect that is. It's beautiful. Alright. How it lined up, I have no idea. I don't think I meant it to do that. But it worked out as a happy accident, and I'll take it. We just need to put in... Let's connect these all up. There we go. Let's connect these. We'll take that because it's already colored. There we go. And then we'll just connect that to that, that to that, and this to this. Alright. So now those heat sinks are filling up. I'm going to drop into our power switch. Now, a power switch is one side the electric's coming in from the electric, and the other side it's coming in from where every one of these are connected to. So you can leave it shut off, and then when you're ready, pop them on. So now we're going to start making heat sinks. So next, that is done. Isn't that incredible? I need a floor hole here. It's going to drive me nuts. All right, we'll just do that now because, yeah, please. That looks terrible. Come on, any time now. All right, I'm going to make a little drop-down hole here. All right, so now we have heat sinks coming into these guys. We need to drop in rubber. I'm going to save the water and the gas for the last step, because we're not only going to make cooling systems, but we're going to start making fused modular frames. This is also going to take not sheets but casings. So we're going to have to drop in some casings, some modular frames, and this is going to share gas, the nitrogen gas, with this guy. He's going to take water as well, but it's fine. We're going to figure this out. 150, 300 nitrogen. Yeah. So these two are going to take one. These two are going to take one. And these four should get one split, I believe. Yes, because we'll have 300. That'll be fine. That'll be 2 something. So anyway, yes. Let's go ahead and get the rubber. That's going to be our next step. So, let's see where we're going to put this rubber. We got to go all the way up. Find out where that rubber is coming in. And then figure out where we want to drop that in. I think we might drop it in where right close to where we're dropping in our... let me take this out. We're going to go up this way. So that is getting put in there. So we want to be careful. We don't want to use that same one. We could drop it in here because this would only be going to here. Let's bring this up to the ceiling. Alright, so let's do the same with this one. Let's put these splitters on here. They're going to go this way. That would be fine. Let's make sure they're painted, because they look unattractive with that color, with everything else the same color. There we go. Alright, let's grab a belt and connect these together. It does clip. I don't care. Honestly, I'm at a point where caring is not that big of a deal. Could I? I could. Let's see. If I took this lift, right? and I took it from here. It has to go there. Yeah, it kind of has to go there. Could I bring it in from the backs of the machines? Probably. I could have split it down back further. You know what? I am not gonna worry about it. I'm never gonna look at it again. That's how I look at it. So anyway, I'm gonna put a drop into, say, here. Let's see. Will that line up? No, let's line it up with this. So that is on the center of that square. So if we go to the center of that square, that should be better. Let's grab this. I'm going to put this down. We're going to slide this way. And where is that going to line up? Perfectly with that. I did that wrong. Let's do that again. It's going to be out. Oh, you know why? I turned that splitter the wrong way. So that's fine. Let's get that splitter put in properly. So that splitter has to have the end this way. And that's dropped down just a bit too low. Let's go ahead and try this one time that it will actually work, because I'm not being silly. Alright, there we go. That is perfect. Paint it, paint it, paint it, paint it, done. Alright, so in here we're gonna have to drop in some rubber. So let's grab that, close that up. We're gonna need a floor hole there. That's fine. Let's jump up here. That's coming into there. That means that we're gonna need something. Whoa. I'm flying. Right above here. Let's grab this. And then let's go up top and find the rubber. That would be here. So this rubber needs to be split, it looks like, because we're using it for, I think, motors. So I think we're making we're not making turbo motors. So the last episode we set up for turbo motors, but we're gonna have to bring the turbo motors cooling systems. So let's get that, you know, going once we get this done. All right, so we're gonna split this. This is gonna go here, but I want to put this here. Line this up nicely. Let's see. And then that's gonna go there, and then we could just put that directly into there. Rubber is going down. Perfect. All right. So the only thing left, we got modular frames for this side. And we have casings in here. Yes, right there for that side. We'll worry about that later, but yeah, just making sure. All right, let's drop down and start hooking up, if I can drop, thank you, our nitrogen gas and our water. So let's fill this back up. And I've been playing for 2 hours, or something like that. Yeah, something like that. I've stopped it and started it. It's fine. It's fine. All right. I'm looking at this. This is where this is. We have to drop this nitrogen gas down into the backs of here. We're going to dissect this a second. Both the water and this. And figure out the best way we want to do this. So I think we're gonna drop the water. Do we have room on the water? Yeah, you know what we do? We could bring the water this way and then pipe it down this way. So what I'm gonna do is I think we're gonna run the water on the ceiling and the gas on the floor. I think. Let's open up this, and this, and this, and this. And then we're gonna have to backtrack these guys. That's fine. Alright. Let's see. Let's grab a junction pipe here. We could, no. Let's make it on the insides. Oh, that won't fit past that. Let's see. That will. Let's see if we could do that. All right, so nitrogen gas. That's got to be split 2 ways. So this, and that would make 300. And then this one and this one would make the other 300. Water. 30 per minute, we could use 1. 30, 60, 90, 120. Plenty of water. Don't have to worry about it. So, gas we could split here. Let's do this. Again, we can just use Mark 1s. I don't know where that went. Oh, there it is. Took a minute, a hot minute, and we're gonna just color this cream color to mark it as gas. Alright, we're gonna do the same thing on this side. We actually don't need this on the end here. We can actually just come straight right in, using the straight on the R. Let's press R and straight. There we go. And that'll be fine. And that is our gas. This, we're going to bring this up to the ceiling. Let's see. Is it going to interfere? It is it's going to interfere with these. Let's go, because we're not doing... Alright. Horizontal. Yeah, we're going to do this. I'm wondering... Let me see... It does come back to here. Let's press H a second. That is straight. And then I'm wondering if these guys are able to move these floor holes down. No. No. Okay. Alright, so there's another option. We can actually move these lifts down if we wanted. Or I can put in a false ceiling. So I can go like this, press E again, and do that, right? So now let's just remove that a second, and we'll remove the other thing in a minute, but let's just do it this way. We're gonna take it from this floor hole. Just gonna press H. I know it's off center. We're gonna move that straight. Oh, that doesn't like that. Okay, hold on. Okay, now it wants to connect to this stupid piece. It's fine, it's fine. This happens sometimes. And I'm not getting frustrated. I'm just, you know, thinking I'm wasting your time when idiotic shit goes on. It's fine. Alright, that's straight. Now, is it straight this way? No, it bends back. So we're just gonna move that like that. That is fine. I'm gonna take this same idea, take this, come over to here. I'm gonna just, that's not gonna be right because that's a different height than that. So we're just gonna take that off a second. Oh, it would have been fine. It would have been fine because, yeah, it's fine. So we're just gonna take that and we're gonna come down. And actually, it doesn't even fucking matter because there's no lifts and belts over here. So, you know, it doesn't even fucking matter. It's fine. So, yeah, you want to lose your mind a little bit? It's fine. All right, let's press H. Welcome to my world. All right, so we are there. And we're going to leave it there. Now. Let's see. I'm going to do this. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to remove that. I'm going to take this and put it there. And this is actually on there. I'm going to take this. Let's remove this and this. Let's grab this. We'll do that. That last one, there's nothing on it. Don't forget. We got plenty of nitrogen gas. We're going to probably need it for something else. So I'm just going to grab this one, say. And I'm going to drop it down. I should have just put it down like that. Come on. That'll work for me. That will work. and let's grab it. Pull it down and in this way. Make it straight. And then I'm gonna take the straight and go like that. One problem. We need one to go all the way over here. So I'm gonna use this one to go over to here. And I'm gonna take this. Let's come over to this way. Let's go like that. Drops down a little bit extra. Doesn't it? Okay, it does. So actually we're gonna just hook that back up a second. I'm gonna take this one. Let's see. Doesn't drop down enough. So I really want this neat. It's fine. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take this. Take that off of there. I'm gonna take that, line it up with here. I'm gonna drop the next one a little earlier. We'll take this out. I'm gonna take you. Drop you. Gotta go into the horizontal to vertical. Keep that straight. I want that straight. I'm going to put this back a second because I really want that straight. And clean. That'll work. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that off a second. Take that off a second. Put this one here. And then I'm going to come back up and grab this. Run it back and keep that nice and straight. That looks good. That looks good. I'm gonna take this and keep going down. Do it like that. Yeah, I like things to be clean mostly. I don't have to be too crazy. But with these things, I do like them nice and neat and clean. So let's go into straight mode, go into here, and hook that in. All right, I'm good with that. We still need water, and these pipes are kind of in the way. And now I kind of blocked up the bottoms here like this. But let me see something. H. Up, up, up. Can I do vertical to horizontal with that? Let me see. R. I can. So what we're gonna do is run that water just like that. If we do that, we can put the water. Let's color this so we see this as water. So that's what we're gonna do. Which means we're gonna have to take this pipe out a second, which is fine. It's fine. We're gonna come over and line this up right here. Press H and press up, up, up. That lines up with that one. We're gonna do the same right here. H, up, up, up. And then we're gonna remove this guy. And then do this one. H, up, up, up. And now these are blue. And now we could take our... Let's do this straight. That goes into there. And this one goes into there. Alright. So now I'm going to go to this guy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the horizontal to vertical or vertical to horizontal. We're just going to go from the machine to the pipe junction. Like that. And now we could just run these straight. And that is fine. That is perfectly fine. Alright. So now I just want to get rid of these guys. This is not going to be going across the ceiling like this. So let's see. I'm going to press G. So I don't delete anything I don't want to delete. And we're just going to run this down. Get rid of all this extra junk. There we go. And then we're going to get rid of these wall supports. Don't need them. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Be careful you don't delete any of your work, because that would be a mess. Alright. Look how nice and clean and neat that looks, except for I see one more wall support. There we go. And that is perfect. Okay. So now, let's go ahead and just finish this. This goes across, because that is part of our building. Okie dokie. I'm going to put this across, because it just looks neater that way. And cleaner. And I'm good with that. Let's come in with our water. Let's do that. Let's come over to here. I want to make this kind of straight. There we go. Not kind of straight. I want to make it straight. Alright. It does not like this, because I've moved it back too far. I'm going to bring this guy. I'm going to go vertical. So I brought that actually too far. Because technically, here's our water. And I'm going to want to run that along the other wall. So, let's go back. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to go from here. I'm going to go vertical this way. And let's take you. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to take this and run it down to there. Alright, so that connects perfectly up to there. I don't know if this is straight though. Let's see. It looks sort of straight. Does have that little bit of a notch in, but I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me too much. I'm just going to remove that support. And I think what we'll do is let's just cover this back up. And we could do this like that. And that just keeps it enclosed and you don't even notice it. So anyway, we now have, I believe everything we need hooked up to this. So now we're going to go into the middle here and we're going to turn on our power. Now let's see. I don't see rubber coming in, so there must be an issue with the rubber. Okay, it's not on this floor. There's rubber coming in there. And I did not connect this guy again to this guy. That is fine. Alright, let's go over our things. This is missing heat sinks. Why are no heat sinks coming? That's a problem as well. So let's see what we did wrong here. There we go. We are not connected. Let's see what this is. I forgot we removed that. Is that not connected? Let's double check. Heat sinks are there. What did I do there? That is a problem. Alright, let's grab that. There we go. Just drop in some heat sinks there. They're already up to 100. Perfect. Alright. So we are now making cooling systems. That's awesome. And we are making 6, 12, 18, 24 per minute. Next, we have to set up for our fused modular frames. And yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna see what we have to do as far as dropping the casings and the heavy frames in, and then we'll hook up the gas. I'm figuring you don't want to see me just drop this in, because it's literally the same as the other side. I'm just gonna drop it in, split it up by 4, and drop it in, split it up by 4, and we'll do the gas. Then after that, we're gonna take some of these cooling systems that we're making and run it down to our turbo motors and get that set up. Alright, so I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, so I got the gas coming in, I got the modular frames and the aluminum casings. How I did that was, these all have lifts for the casings. It has a drop down and a splitter here for the modular frames, which I have to hook up. There they go, the heavy modular frames are getting sorted. The gas I ran along the top, pretty similar to before. Has a little bit of an elbow kind of thing going on here. It's fine, but they get dropped in just like that. I ran these right across here. I actually set them up on the floor and then raised the height by nudging. And let's go ahead and start to paint some of these guys. And I'll show you the logistics behind it. So with the casings, they're getting used for something else. So in the process, they were going through a very tight belt bus system. I will show you. Let me just grab that one. And so I had to raise it up without it, you know, so it wouldn't clip and stuff. Let's go up one more floor. All right, so here we are. So down in here is where the casings were. Now you could see them right here. And if I would have put a splitter right here where the casings were, it would have actually just made a mess. It wouldn't fit very well. Let me show you. And then I need a lift in there as well. So I just lifted them up to this where we have plenty of space and added the splitter right there. And that worked out nicely. Then they just came up and across, and then they dropped down. So this one across, they drop down. And then we come into here. This takes us across here. They drop down into here and split up on the top or on the bottom. So this is where the modular frames drop down. And this is where these got split up top and the lifts were added here. Let me just quickly show you. Just like that. So next, we're going to need some storage for our... Oh, actually, we need power first. Let's go ahead and turn them on. So yeah, and make sure everything's running. There we go. Gas is filling up. The casings are filling up. Heavy modular frames are filling up. Everybody's got what they need. There we go. There we go. We are making fused modular frames. Now we have to think about storage. And we also need to put those cooling systems out to the turbo motors. We have quite a tall building in the back there. This one's kind of short. I think we can add to this building where we might put the storage. So I'll be right back as I figure out exactly a game plan for this. Alright, so I finished up the building. I put in some lights, an elevator, some stairs. I probably should have put a door on. But anyway, here's where our copper is coming in. I did leave an opening in the window here, that's good. And here are our cooling systems. The only thing we need heat sinks for is cooling systems. So we're good. We only need enough heat sinks for these cooling systems. And boy, I gotta color these. I see, I thought I was done. I obviously ain't. But anyway, I'm not gonna bore you with that. So anyway, we are getting heat sinks, rubber, water, nitrogen gas. Everything is coming from the top there. And then let's come over to here. This we're making the fused modular frames. They're going into storage. We'll need them for nuclear pasta and all that crap. Yeah, that's later on down the line. But anyway, we got aluminum casings coming in, heavy modular frames, and some nitrogen gas. So the nitrogen gas is getting pulled on up from here, and I think it looks kind of cool. I mean, it is what it is, right? There's no window here. That's good. I thought there was windows, but I didn't separate the bottom floor. I did up top though, so let's go ahead up top and see what we got going on there. So let's push the button. By the way, this is our merger, merging out our cooling systems. One part's going to storage. We need them for some kind of motors for the space elevator parts, but I make those on the fly, so I'll show you when we get up to phase 4 of the space elevator, which won't be far off. But anyway, once that fills up, then everything will be going towards the turbo motors. So anyway, let's get in the elevator and go up 1 floor. Here we are. So these are making the heat sinks. They're getting the copper sheets and the alkyd aluminum sheets, and they are being made. That's going downstairs to make the heat sinks. Yes. Woo, I am talking too fast, but anyway, let's drop down here. All right, let's go up 1 more floor. All right, here's where the copper sheets are being made. We have plenty going out that way and plenty going out that way. These are 2 going to 1, 2 going to 1, 2 going to 1, and 2 going to 1. Over on that side is our storage, and I'll take you over there in a moment, but let's go up the next floor. And is our elevator off? We're gonna fall through a floor there. It's a little off or something. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But anyway, let's get out this. It's a little lifted. I don't know why, but anyway. Whoa, I just walked into a smelter. Smelters. For crying out loud, stop fucking DMing each other. So anyway, these are our copper ores getting smelted into copper ingots. And we have those dropping down like I had mentioned before. I'm gonna sneak out one of these windows. Thank you. Let's go ahead and do that, because I don't want you to wait for the elevator. But anyway, let's go to the front of the building. Yes, let's go to the front. I have these coming up through the glass, coming into this station right here on this level, and that is storing all our fused modular frames. Just bumped my head on a window in here. So we'll have all the fused modular frames in here. Then it will be able to be pushed out to wherever we need them. Nuclear pasta will probably be the place. But anyway, let's go down to our turbos. Here is our storage for... I don't know why I got so much storage. What is that? That is not right. That is for... That is right. That's a shit ton of storage. But anyway, you know what? Just ignore it. Ignore it. It's not a big deal. Let's see where we're going. Oh, we're going up. That's logistics floor. One more. Here we are. Alright, so we got turbo motors. So, I think it's because I'm only making 2 per minute and they're super slow, that as we're playing the game, I'm just gonna let as many as I can kind of get into that storage, because we're gonna need turbo motors down the line for something. I don't know. Well, I hope we don't need all that storage I have down there, but yeah, we got the room. What's the problem? Store it, right? If we got the room, we got the room. So anyway, we're a little light on the cooling systems, as you can see, and that is because I'm storing them for our phase 4. So it's not a big deal. That'll, like I said, fill up that storage container, and then we'll be able to start filling up these machines with the cooling systems to make the turbo motors, which probably when I get about... You know what? I'm just gonna let it run. We got other things I think we need to make. Maybe not. Alright, so let's grab a few of these. Yeah, that's fine. Let's come on out to this side so we stop breaking through everything. I definitely need to cut the trees out here. And let's put down a particle accelerator. Nuclear pasta. That is one of our space elevator parts. That's what we're gonna need. That's what we need the copper powder for, and we're going to need a lot of copper powder. So yeah, we don't need, so that's one. All right, that's one. So phase 4, we're gonna need nuclear pasta. We need 100 of those. Let's close that. Let's go into manufacturers. Let's just see what other things we need in here. Thermal propulsion rockets. We need turbo motors for that. We're gonna definitely need that. So yeah, and let's go into an assembler. If I can, please. Thank you. What do we need in here? Alright, assembly directors. We're gonna need to use some supercomputers for that, and we also need magnetic. Okay, so we are going to have to make some of these electromagnetic rods. But anyway, if you stayed this long and I've dragged you this far, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate it, and I hope you come back, because I could be a little crazy once in a while, but you know, overall, I played the game. I have over 2,000 hours in this game. I just love this game. So thanks for watching, and I also have memberships on YouTube, $2.99 and 99 cents. The $2.99 will get you a shout out after every video, and that's above and beyond just you watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, doing all those good things. I appreciate it. So until next time, I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.